Dude, also kind of random, but these Carbach Love Streets, bro,
Delicious.
fire. Delicious.
Delicious.
Absolutely. Where's the other one I have? Also, this one, Wild Acre Texas Blonde.
Delicious.
Delicious, bro. I've discovered, dude, they're so good, bro.
Both of those.
Yeah, they're so good.
Nah.
Local
I had a huge
breweries.
beer I had a huge beer wall at my house in college, and like I would just part of that I was like I wanted it to be like a cool one, not like one of those one where it's all like Keystone and Natty Light. Like that's
Yeah.
the only because I've seen those. I'm like, dude, come on. So like I would just buy like any beer that I never tried before so I could put it on the beer wall, but also to try it. It's cool. So
Yeah, I'm kind of going through, I don't have a beer wall, but I'm kind of going through that phase right now of like, I just want to try every single beer I can.
yeah, that's it. Like after you first turn 21, you hit that too.
Yeah, like I feel like I've already been talking to my friends. Like I'm becoming a craft beer guy. Like I'll be like, oh hey, like it's brewed in Granbury. Like oh it like, and then there's
Yeah,
like fucking
yeah.
nerd. Like they're all just drinking Coors and stuff.
No, it's weird. Like as soon as you turn 21, you're like, oh, like I'm gonna buy some like nice stuff. Even though I've had a fake ID for years. Like
Yeah,
everyone I
exactly.
knew went through that too. A
Yeah,
bunch of people were like,
it's so weird. Yeah, because whenever you're not 21, I guess it would be like less of a red flag, you know. Like as a minor with a fake, everybody's just gonna get like Coors and Michelob and stuff. But no, like 18-year-old's gonna be buying fucking Carbach Love Street, you know.
honestly,
Yeah, like so maybe that's the strat. That's what we should have done.
for I don't
All
know.
right,
I never got caught, so
let's go ahead and get into it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome in and welcome back to another episode of the Going the Distance podcast. My name is Ryan Bennell, and alongside me is my co-host Elijah Span on a snowy, weird, cold day here in Texas for the both of us. We've been kind of dealing with a little bit of internet troubles, so apologies if anything cuts out. Texas is not built for the snowstorm. We're going to talk about that a little bit, and also have Brian Flores suing the NFL. Going to dive into that. And the Washington Commanders finally unveiled their new logo, their new jerseys, everything like that. So we're going to give our take there. But first, before we get into it, be sure to follow us over on social media over at GTD_sports, other than TikTok, where we are at GTDsports.com. You can follow us as well on our website, too, to check out our podcast network over at gtdsports.com with our other shows. There's also a brand new episode of Hockey Down Here that just got uploaded last night. So be sure to go and check that out. And last but not least, subscribe to the GTD Sports newsletter over at the bottom of our website. Whenever you look at the podcast, you'll just find it at the bottom there. So let's get into it. Before we start everything off, like I said, I kind of want to talk about this snow day for Texas because the majority of our listeners, I assume, are from Texas as well as us. So it's been kind of a crazy past 24 hours weather-wise. How is everything down south in Austin, Elijah?
we're getting snow too. It's mostly sleet. We had all like freezing rain all day. And then I got to do a half day at work. Well, not a half day, but half remote, which was sick. It's the first time I worked remote for this job. And like now, I'm just going to say it, new college grads, when you're looking for jobs, do a hybrid job. Don't do fully remote because then it'll just turn out to be like, I feel like that would turn out to be like remote school all over again, like Zoom University, where you just don't
Yeah,
do anything productive whatsoever. But like, do hybrid because it sucks being in an office 5 days a week, 8 to 9 hours a day. But if you did like 2 days work from home, 3 days in office, or like something like that, best case Ontario.
yeah, that's what I would worry about is just kind of repeating Zoom University and having that vibe again. I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, it would be nice. Like a half day would be nice, you know, like work in the office half the day, then go home, finish the day at home. Like that'd be a
Yeah,
good balance.
that's
Yeah.
what I did. Like I worked in the office from like 7 to 11, and then I took lunch, and then once I got home from lunch, I got set up to work from home. It was awesome. It was a great day.
Oh, you see that video? It's a great day off.
Exactly.
Yeah, one of those. All righty though. Are you guys getting any ice on the road? Like how are
Yeah,
the
we did
roads?
this. We did this morning. I hope that they're icy tomorrow too, so I can work from home all day tomorrow on Friday.
I think they should be. They're supposed to be at least one more day. It's not going to be like a snowmageddon that makes national news because people in Texas are freezing to death. Hopefully not. I mean, shit, who knows? But it's supposed
No.
to get warmer in a bit. No, but the roads here in Fort Worth are like super icy right now. I went out. I drove like it was a 2-3 minute drive from my house to my girlfriend's. Turned left as I was going. my back wheels just did not want to go left with me. They just kept going.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm just sitting sideways on this road. Like, here's the road, here's me. And then the cars behind me just stop and they're like staring at me. And I'm like, sorry. And I just slowly accelerate out of it. But yeah, it was kind of sketcy.
I live on the frontage road and like I got to go to work like really early. And when I was, cause like, so I have to like gas it as soon as I turn out because so I don't get like rear-ended.
Mm-hmm.
And this morning when I turned out, I fishtailed left and right like a bunch of times, like getting out of there. So that was fun.
Yeah, it's such a weird feeling. Like, I don't know. It's kind of fun though. Like, part of me enjoys driving in the ice. Like, it's kind of cool. It's like a challenge.
And I've done it enough because I've been on a lot of like long road trips in the mountains to where I'm pretty experienced driving in the ice. So for me, I was like, this is cool. So I didn't have any trouble getting to work or anything like that.
Yeah, part of me just views it as like a challenge for some reason. It makes it more, I don't know, more intense. You got to focus. You got to be ready. But alrighty though, let's go ahead and get into some would you rather's to start the episode off like we normally do on Thursdays. I'll go ahead and take the first one because it relates to what we've been talking about on Monday and what we might talk about a little bit later today is head coaching positions in the NFL. So I don't want to say like the hottest commodities, but two of the most interesting vacancies, I'll say that, is the Giants and the Jaguars. So if you're a coach right now, would you rather take over as head honcho for the New York Giants or the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Oh, Jags. Easy.
Really?
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence.
I mean, is that the only reason, though?
That's the only reason you need.
I mean, I guess you're right. Because I'm thinking, like, for New York, there's kind of an opportunity, whereas the Jags have never had any glory days. New York, like, if Dabble brings them up within a few years, he's going to be a legend in New York just for bringing him back into playoff contention, Super Bowl contention.
Yeah, but with Jags, there's no expectations.
I know, but I don't know. But for some reason, I find that almost worse. Like,
really?
Yeah. Well, I guess, but then if you win, like there's no losing, I guess. It's just a win-win. You either go get paid millions, live in Florida, and then bounce, or you become like the only coach to ever produce anything for the Jags.
Yeah, Florida, like no state income tax. That's a good point too.
And that's what I was thinking too. If like that ever affects NFL coaching decisions,
and with the Giants, like you're not in New York, you're in New Jersey.
Yeah, isn't it like right on the border though? It's like close, right?
East Rutherford.
I don't necessarily know, but I know the stadium. I think it's like a 20-minute drive or something from New York. But yeah, that's another thing that just makes absolutely no sense.
That's worth a research right there. It might be like 40.
Yeah, here I'll Google that. How far is MetLife from New York? Let's see. It is okay. Well, MetLife Stadium. Okay, I didn't search stadium. Apparently, MetLife is like 7 other things in New York.
Yeah, it's a life insurance.
Okay, so it's a 26-minute drive from New York City to MetLife, but it is across the border.
Yeah. You have to like cross
some
certain bridge. That's actually closer than I thought. Well, I guess it also depends on what part of New York you live in, because New York is huge.
Yeah, massive. There's like 6 subdivisions.
But it's funny how like NBA stadiums are always like in the city that they're in, and football stadiums are always like outside. It's because football stadiums are just so massive.
Yeah, like the Cowboys.
Yeah, but like I just always think that's kind of funny. Like NBA stadiums are never like in Arlington or something like that, or like, oh yeah, like the Knicks play in New Jersey. Like, what a crime that would be.
Yeah, well, at least the basketball is in the city for MSG, but yeah, that's kind of funny you bring it up too. Like the Cowboys, I always laugh about that because they're the Dallas Cowboys. Their stadium's in Arlington. Their practice facility is in Frisco. They show footage during the game. I've seen like their B-roll footage of the Fort Worth stockyards. So it's like, which one are you? Like they hardly ever show actual Dallas. They just show more DFW stuff.
And I don't even know. That's pretty much there. They're the DFW Cowboys. And I don't even remember because before Cowboys Stadium, they were in Irving.
Irving. Yeah.
So I don't even remember where they were before that. I'm not old enough to
That was like
remember.
early 2000s. They were in Erling. I think it was Tyler. They were in like Tyler, Texas, or some shit before that.
No, that's like
Am I
East
wrong?
Texas, bro.
Okay, that's too far away.
Yeah, that's way too far. But
I
like
think it started with a T for
I don't
some
remember
reason.
when they were ever in. Well, they were in Texas Stadium for a long time, but I don't know if they were ever in Dallas.
Yeah, the only thing I remember about their old stadium is when I was in like third, fourth grade, I would play NFL 2K5, and it was in their old stadium.
Yeah, my friend's mom in high school told us a story about how when she was in high school, she had sex on the 50-yard line on the Star after
No
her high school
way.
football team. Yeah, because she was like the medical trainer or like one of the one of the water girls or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
One of the you know what I mean.
I know
Those
exactly
girls
what you're
that are
talking
always around the
about.
football team.
Yeah,
And like one of
the
the
groupies.
football players was like, "Oh, after like come back around like after we win state, and they boned on the Star."
No shot. Okay, see, I think about
No,
stories
because
like that.
this was in the 90s, or
That's
this
what I
was
was
in
just
like the
about to say.
90s.
It's like there's no shot that would happen today. Cause like I think about stories like that, and obviously that'd be sick. Like, let's go fuck on the logo, you know? But if that was to happen in like today's Cowboy Stadium,
Not a
they'd be
chance.
they'd be shot on sight, dude. Just in a second.
They wouldn't make it 50 yards
Yeah.
within the stadium,
Yeah,
much less the
exactly.
50-yard line.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of cool. But anyway, along back to the coaches and everything, that's something that I think about whenever, because with college coaches, it's more common to let the geography kind of affect it. You know, you want to live in LA rather than Norman, Oklahoma, like, you know, with Lincoln Riley, for example. But in the NFL, do you think that affects it as much? Like people that don't want to live
No,
in the freezing cold, like people want to go to a Florida like environment, you know?
I mean it does some, but not near as much as it does in college. Because like really in the NFL, when you're in the NFL world, there's only 32 head coaching gigs at a time. In college, I mean, how many? If you even want to shrink it down from the 135 FBS teams or however many it is, um, there's still like what 50 something Power Five schools. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So you can pick and choose like where you really want to go, unless you really want to say like there's 14 SEC jobs. Those are the most coveted, and then break it down from there. But no, and then NFL, a head coaching job is a head coaching job, and you kind of just take what's going to be given to you for the most part, unless you're just like hot shit.
Yeah, and you can literally choose wherever you want to go.
Yeah. So no, yeah, it's pretty much just like I'll take what job is the best fit. It's more like what would be another good example? How Green Bay is always a sought after head coaching gig. Like
Very true,
anybody
yeah.
would take that. But Green Bay is literally the middle of nowhere. Like you know how people live in Green Bay?
Bro, I made a TikTok about that too. Like it was just a random thought. And I was kind of like, do y'all ever think about the fact that we have a real life NFL team named Green Bay? Like of all the cities in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Madison, that's literally all I know. So whatever the other ones are, they chose Green Bay. That just sounds dumb. If you
Yeah.
really look at it, like you just because there's like what 5,000 people there, I think.
It's 100,000 people.
Oh, it's 100,000.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe because
But
whenever I read it, I think that may have been like the starting population or something.
it's still like a few hours away from Milwaukee, which is it's really a Milwaukee team because Milwaukee doesn't have like an NFL team.
Yeah.
But it's mostly just because like when the NFL first started, I guess like 100 years ago.
Yeah, there's history behind it because it's like the meat packing company and whatever.
Yeah, cheese packers.
Cheese packing, yeah.
That's why they're the Packers. And then anybody got 100K to buy a football game? What?
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by that, my guy. Oh my god, we keep both clicking it.
Yeah. 1777 memorabilia. No, I wish. If
Yeah, I
it's
wish. I
2K5
mean, it's
or
basically like
NCAA. You got NCAA 14, dog? I've been looking to get my hands on that. No, but yeah. Green Bay just started like back in like, I don't know, the 40s or 30s or whatever the heck it was. And
yeah, they're one of the older
that's why they're
teams.
still there. Just tradition.
Oh, the comment said, "LOL, that's how much the coaches get paid to lose a game." Hey, we're about to get into that in just a
We're gonna
second.
touch on that.
Yeah, we're gonna touch on that in just a bit. But all right, so that's it for my question. It seems like you went with the Jags. For some reason I would rather take the Giants head coach position, but
The
I don't
glitz and
know.
glam.
Yeah, the glitz and glam, the big sports market. So all right, what you got for me?
Okay, so would you rather, if you're in an NFL team, would you rather wear white colors or white in the Super Bowl?
So I've always been, and this goes back to like my video game days of like playing NCAA football and everything. My favorite uniform combination has always been white uniforms, white pants, white socks, white cleats, and then some sort of helmet with color. Like I don't know why I just love the way that looks. So, and the Bengals especially have such clean white uniforms. So for me, I would prefer to see my Bengals in the all whites, but they're not this time. They're wearing the black on white, which is
Yeah.
totally okay with me. It's an
Nope.
iconic
Terrible.
combo.
Terrible decision.
No, it's a great combo because
No,
it
terrible.
was. Did you see the tweet? How it was like hung up like that? The
That's how
black
it got
jersey.
leaked, right?
Yeah, that's how the original jersey got leaked. So there's history to it, bro. This is the combo the Bengals won their first playoff game in 32 years. This is gonna be the same combo they win their first Super Bowl ever in. I would have honestly though, I would have rather seen white on white. I like the white on white better.
They should on white because
But why did they get to choose though?
it's AFC's turn to choose uniforms.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Like
it worked
last year,
that,
last year the
honestly.
Bucks got to choose, and Brady always goes white.
Yeah.
Because 14 of the past 17. Correct me if I'm wrong. You could fact check me on that. But 14 of the past 17 Super Bowl winners have been wearing white.
It's not very good for our $200 bet on the Bengals. Bro.
Yeah, I was like nervous about that. As soon as I placed it, that was one of the thoughts. I was like, "Fuck! I hope the Bengals wear white. I hope they wear white." And they got to choose. I was like, "Yes!" And then they chose black. I was like,
oh. Yeah, my bookie texted me, was like, "I'm hammering your Bengals," like, and he's throwing like over double what you and I are throwing.
really?
And I was like, God, and he's doing money line too. And I'm like,
Oh,
big
really?
dick. Yeah, I'm like, big dick. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. 5 points is just too much, man.
Dude, I know it's a gift.
I was reading some article too, and like with dogs that are favored by 3 or more cover at an insane rate.
Yeah, I was already talking.
Most of them win outright.
That's what I like to hear. Shit, but I've already been talking with like a few buddies that'll kind of ask me like, what's your take on the game? Since I'm a Bengals fan, they'll ask, and like, I'll tell them I got +5, and they're like blown away. They're like, I've only seen it at 4. Like I've only seen it at 4.5. Like I'm like, yeah, I got it like that, dude.
Yeah,
I'm so glad we took that.
Yeah, no, because I was like, man, I looked at +4. I liked it +4. We thought it was gonna go down. And then it's up to 4.5, but I don't think it's going to move any more than 4.5 because championship games.
Yeah, it's going to stay pretty stagnant.
Yeah, they typically don't move the line a lot, and most of the bets and the public money is on the Rams. So I see.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Comment here. He said everyone's betting the Bengals except.
Seems like everybody that wants to have fun is betting the Bengals, but surprisingly, the public is on the Rams right now, and the sharp money.
Yeah, heavy.
Heavy money.
76% of the money on Action Network, reported by Action Network, is on the Rams, which is just nuts.
Yeah, that's a lot. So
I love that though. Fade the public as always.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of fading the public, especially when it comes to like the most bet sporting event of the year. Like this game's gonna have like 3 times more bets than any other football game. He said, "Nah, I think most of the money will be on the Bengals." That's originally what I thought.
That's what I thought as well.
I thought it would be because it seems like they're like the hype train team. But no, yeah, surprisingly, people are riding with the Rams. So,
but that could change though. We're still 10 days away.
Very early. Yeah, very early.
But it started off Monday. I think Monday and Tuesday, most of the bets were on the Bengals. Most of the money was on the Rams. Now most of the bets and the money are on the Rams, which I love. Keep coming in. All you Rams bettors, place your bets.
Bro, did you see, Tim the Tap Man? Did you see Tim the Tap Man's post, bro? He's gotten every single playoff game wrong, and he called the Rams. So let's go, baby. You love to see it.
Book it with Trent.
Yeah, Booker with Trent posted too. He's like hammered the Rams like $10,000 or something.
Yep,
So
good.
that's gonna be a
Sick.
sad day. Great for
They,
content for him, though, you know.
oh yeah, it's always good. Content is what matters.
I did see this video too, which made me think like, maybe this is the kind of stuff I need to do to like blow up my content. This guy went to a loan shop or whatever or pawn shop, pawned his car, took the $20,000 he got from it, and put it all on Ohio State money line, risking 20,000 to win 200, and he won. And then he went back and got his car. So I don't know how real it was, but I don't know. That's just kind of the
20,000 to win 200.
Yeah, they were 38-point favorites, I think.
Which game?
It was Ohio State versus some no-name team I've never heard of.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but anyway, though. All right, let's go ahead and get into this Brian Flores stuff. I'll let you go ahead and introduce us.
Okay, so Brian Flores is suing the NFL for discrimination, racial discrimination, and he's suing the Dolphins for the way that he was let go. He's suing the Giants and Broncos and the NFL for how the hiring process is handled. And basically, he's really mad because the Rooney Rule, which is the rule that was implemented in 2003, where you have to interview at least one minority head coaching candidate for all like head coaching vacancies as like a requirement. And he's saying that a lot of these teams aren't taking the rule seriously, which most aren't. That's 100% true. And I don't even know what the money's for, but basically he's out for blood. Like he's saying fuck the NFL.
Yeah, he seems pissed.
Yeah, no. So because I think part of it, he's suing the Broncos because he's alleging that when he had his interview with the Broncos in 2019 before he took the Dolphins job, John Elway and another high up, the president, I can't remember the guy's name, showed up to the interview disinterested and hungover. He said he like smelled the alcohol in their breath. They were just out of it. They didn't give a shit about the interview whatsoever. And then they really just want to, and then they just went along, like, or they, they just went
through the motions.
Yeah. And then with the Giants, he's doing it because of something that happened this year. He had an interview set up with the Giants on a Thursday, and like 2 days before the interview, Bill Belichick texted him and was like, because Flores used to be the DC for the Patriots, and he said something like, "Oh, Giants have told me that you're their man. Congrats." And he was like, "Oh yeah, coach, like I really hope to get it, blah, blah, blah." And Bill Belichick was like, "Yeah, you got the job." And he was like, "Wait, like my interview is until Thursday. Like, what do you mean?" And then Bill Belichick literally texted back like, "Oh, I fucked this up, blah, blah, blah." And then he was, Flores was like, "Did you mean to text Brian Daboll?" And then he was like, "Yeah, my bad. Sign double B." Like,
oh my God. I had heard about the,
can you pull up the texts actually?
Yeah. Got you. Yeah.
Because you can find it on Twitter, the screenshots.
All right, let's see.
If he wouldn't have got fired, he never would have sang "It's All About the Money." So, I mean,
let's
maybe.
See, here we go. All right. I just got them pulled up. Let's share this real quick. Chrome tab, go over to Twitter. All right, so let me put us over here. All right, so as you can see, I'll try zooming in. Is this zoomed in enough? Oh, no, definitely not.
Cannot see that.
All right, so it's a little bit blurry, but so these texts are. This is Flores who screenshotted it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is from Bill to Flores and said, "Sounds like you've landed. Congrats. Did you hear something I didn't? Giants. I interview on Thursday. I think I have a shot at it." He said, "Got it. I hear from Buffalo and New York Giants that you are their guy. Hope it works out if you want it to." Oh, God, coach. Are you talking to Brian Flores or Brian DeBall? Just making sure. Oh God, he said, sorry, I fucked this up. I double checked and I misread the text. I think they're naming DeBall. I'm sorry about that. BB, Bill Belichick. Hey, honestly though, I think Bill handled it the best way he could. Like he admitted to it right away. He was like, I'm sorry, I fucked up. Oops.
Yeah, it's not his fault. I
Yeah,
think it's funny though that he's involved in this somehow.
yeah, exactly, dude. That's
and
fucking
it's so
hilarious.
funny too because he's just like, "Oh, I fucked this one up, my B, bro," and then it's just like went on.
And then
but
Brian's just like, thanks, Bill. What a homie. Like, thanks.
Yeah, that would be such a heart crushing way to find out that you didn't get a job too. Just be like,
Yeah, I know.
before you even interview.
Yeah, before you even interview too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous. No, but so the texts are weird as it is, but what do you think overall? I know this makes it look bad that, they kind of had a position, but do you think that it's just because of this rule in place, or do you think that there was like malicious intent, like, fuck this Flores guy, we're just gonna lead him on, or like
No, I think it's because of the rule. Unfortunately, this happens a lot with the Rooney Rule. Which is why he's suing, is that he says that teams are taking this Rooney Rule seriously, which some aren't. Like I could even think you could for any NFL fan of their team could probably think of an example of when this when this happened, when they're just like, oh, they're interviewing this guy, but it's very clearly like they're just fulfilling their Rooney Rule duties. Like when the Cowboys hired McCarthy, I think like they hired two other guys, and one of them was Marvin Lewis. Or they're like, yeah, they have to interview Marvin Lewis. And it even said in the ESPN article to fulfill the Rooney Rule.
Yeah, because there's no shot Lewis would be getting the Cowboys job. There's absolutely no shot.
So it's pretty much an open secret that some guys just show up to fulfill the Rooney Rule. And there's even like the usual suspects too. Like Marvin Lewis was a guy for a couple of years there.
Yeah, he interviewed everywhere. I remember that for a couple of years.
David Caldwell is another guy that always shows up. So I mean, they just kind of be like, "Hey, how you doing? Thanks for buying my flight ticket and hotel. Or is this interview serious?" Pretty much is probably how it goes. And this is kind of what happens when you implement a rule like this, which I don't dislike the Rooney Rule. I do think it's one of those things where it's a really good idea to try and bring more like diversity and stuff because that's what the NFL wanted to do. But in practice, it really doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, like my take, and of course this is somewhat of like a sensitive topic to talk about, but my take on it is I think the Rooney Rule is kind of, I don't know. I don't know what the word would be, but I think it's a little bit forced. In the sense that the way the NFL should work is it should truly just be, hey, we're going to interview the best candidate available, and sometimes, assumingly half the time, that candidate would be a minority. Like it's just how that works. Sometimes minorities are the best candidate. That's just how it is. So ideally, it would just be like that without the Rooney Rule, But it's like
in a perfect world.
Yes, in a perfect world, but it's just it kind of goes so far back because there's definitely more discrepancies within the ownership than there is even the head coaching. Because I know there's only 3 minority coaches: Mike Tomlin, Ron Rivera, and Robert Saleh. But
which is, by the way, less than when the Rooney Rule was implemented, so it's not working.
Yeah, that's actually crazy to hear that.
And I think if anything, the Rooney Rule is kind of hurting minority head coaches.
Yeah, because it's kind of treating them as like a pawn.
Yeah, and just something like they have to do, just a checklist, just a checkbox of something they have to do, which I dislike a lot. I do think it's weird though that there's only one black head coach though.
That is weird, yeah.
It feels like there should be more, especially with how many black players there are. Like there should something should add up.
I don't know what the numbers are, but it seems like college head coaches are a lot more split up. Like there's a decent amount of minority college coaches.
Right.
But yeah, I just, again, like in a perfect world, it would just happen without this Rooney Rule. So I get where Flores is coming from because it is just kind of bullshit. But I don't know if necessarily he should be going after the teams or going after the NFL, as a whole, for just the way it's set up, the way this process has been going for the last few years.
Yeah, I don't
But I
know.
guess it really does look bad with the Giants, though. That looks really bad.
Yeah, that's sus.
That looks
And
way
with
worse than like the John Elway thing, even.
I don't know. The John Elway thing, in my opinion, is even worse because like if they showed up, but also John Elway has come out and the NFL, pretty much every party involved about what Brian Flores is saying, they have like vehemently denied and saying like this is false, this is unscrupulous, like blah blah blah, like all the big lawyer words that they bring out when they want to deny something. So I don't know what to think of it. More stuff will come out when the litigation goes on with it, and it's just
this will be a long process.
It'll be going on for a while.
Yeah.
And Brian Flores probably pretty much blackballed himself. He's going scorched earth. Like he's that pissed off.
No, you're right. Yeah, that's a good point because especially, and the sad part is that being a minority may even play a part in it. Is like being a minority head coach, that might make it even harder for him to get back in the NFL because obviously what he's doing is completely different to like Colin Kaepernick, for example. But I mean, he's still basically taking a stand and being like, "Hey, fuck you, NFL!" Like very publicly, just like "fuck you, NFL." What you're doing is wrong. This is bullshit, and they don't take kindly to that.
And here's the thing too, is that like I feel like the whole minority coaching, the diversity numbers for head coaches is going to get better.
One would think, one would think.
Because like, and not even like I'm saying like better in like 5-10 years. I'm saying within like the next 2 or 3.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of head coach, a lot of black coordinators that I can think of off the top of my head that are probably going to get head coaching gigs soon. Like Byron Leftwich is probably going to start coaching for the Jags this offseason. You have Todd Bowles, who's going to get another job at some point. You have Raheem Morris, who's probably going to get another job at some point.
You got Bieniemy with the keys to Kansas City.
Yeah, Bieniemy with the keys to Kansas City, like you said, or another job elsewhere if he gets tired of waiting for fucking Andy Reid to get diabetes. And then you have Vance Joseph. So I mean, there's just a lot of guys you could think of to where I feel like it's going to get better. So it's kind of a weird timing. But Brian Flores probably would have gotten a job this offseason too, but now I don't think so anymore because like how weird would this be? And do you think that if Flores ends up getting a job somehow, some way with all this going on, does a lawsuit proceed?
If he gets a job, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Like, would it continue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the lawsuit's going to go on no matter what. I think it's less likely that he gets a job this season. Honestly, with the way it's going, like you kind of said it, he's going full scorched earth. He's like, fuck this, let's blow it up. So I wouldn't be surprised if like his next coaching gig would be in college if he wants to keep coaching but wants to stay away from the league. But I think it's also interesting to look at like, we talk about the coaches, how there's only 3 right now, but the ownership as well. It's even worse in terms of the ownership of NFL teams, which I know that's going to be an even bigger hump to get over because just like historical wealth and everything, like probably half of the NFL teams have been owned by a family that's just been, passed down. So that's definitely going to be a bit harder of a hump to get over. But because I think there's like one, I don't think there's minority owner of a franchise, and he's not even like the full owner.
There's 2. It's like Kim Pagula, who's the husband of Terry, who's the real owner. And she's like half Asian, or no, she's Asian. And then there's Shahid Khan, who's Pakistani.
Okay.
The owner of the Jaguars.
Okay.
So
a couple. Well, the Broncos too. The Broncos just recently announced that they're for sale, so maybe there's an opportunity there.
Maybe then, but that's kind of something that we can't change. We're not really. There's billions of dollars that goes on with that.
Yeah.
Nothing much can be done, but at the coaching level and stuff, and there's also Gerard Mayo too, another guy who's going to get a head coaching gig in the near future. I feel like the numbers are going to get better pretty soon.
With all this being said, though, is like, and this again might be a bit controversial, but like, I would rather the best candidate get the job than a team make a forced hire. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like I don't
don't
want to
think
see NFL teams make hires because of that, because that could be considered racist in of itself. Like you're only hiring them because they're black and it fits a need, you know?
right, which is well, I wouldn't say it's racist, but it's
Well, yeah,
petulant.
that's probably not. Yeah, that's a better word. Yes.
Yeah. Um, yeah, no, it's kind of weird. Like maybe that's happened too. Like you could think of David Culley last year, who was pretty much just a lame duck head coach, and he was one of like the 4 black head coaches last year, or like one of 2 or 3. Maybe he was just hired by the Texans because the Texans just needed somebody, and the NFL was like, "Hey, our diversity numbers need to be better," which could be something to say.
That would be something to look into. Yeah, I guess because they really did just need a filler.
Yeah, and then they're wanting to hire Josh McCown right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but back to your thing about saying like, oh, I don't want to make the NFL to have a forced hire. That would not happen. NFL, the teams are going to hire who they want to. The problem with the Rooney Rule is that black head coaches weren't getting enough chances, and so that's why I got implemented in the first place.
That's fair.
Which is a good reason to implement the rule. But again, like I said, it's one of those things where it's really good in theory, but bad as a practice because stuff like this happens where they just kind of bring in guys just to have that checkbox filled. Some teams will do it legitly. I think Flores even said it himself, or maybe it's Hugh Jackson, where they could kind of tell the difference pretty 5 minutes into their interview that they were taking it seriously or if they were actually interviewing them.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm sure as the candidate, you would definitely probably be able to tell.
You would know. You'd be like,
especially if you've been through a few interviews, which he definitely has been in his career. So I always wonder what like an NFL head coaching interview is like, because it's kind of a bunch of guys that have already been there, done that for the most part. They've already coached another NFL team. So like, what do you talk about if like they already know everything about you, everything you've done?
I guess
it's gotta be interesting.
Some of those last for hours and hours.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. Is like, I guess, do they talk about like what kind of offense would you implement? Like they may go into that kind of detail, but
yeah, I think it's like that. Or what would you do in this type of situation? I wonder I don't know. It'd be crazy to sit in a room for an NFL head coaching interview.
That would be very intriguing. I would definitely want to do that. But
honestly, too, in Brian Flores' defense, I'd want to see what a head coaching interview looks like when it's legit, and then when it looks like when they're just looking to fill that checkbox.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to be patronizing, like, and just insulting at the highest level, especially for a guy like Flo, who is very deserving of a head coaching job. He's proven that he could be a pretty good head coach.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's got to be belittling as fuck, because like you're one of literally only 32 people in the entire world that holds an NFL head coaching position, and like, to be treated like that is kind of like, who do you think I am?
And he's actually, he's worthy of one too. So
yes, I agree.
That might be part of the reason for him filing this lawsuit, is because he's being used as a checkbox when he should be looking at as somebody who's a real candidate for this job. And that would fucking piss me off too. Yeah. If I knew I was good enough to have a job and guys were just bringing me in because I was black, that's got to be like probably the most insulting thing somebody could do to me.
What do you think about just how he got fired in general from the Dolphins? Because he's filing a lawsuit against the Dolphins, not only the teams that interviewed him. So like, do you think that played a role in that? Because I thought originally I was mind blown when they fired him. I was like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? Like already?
A lot of weird stuff has gone in about his last couple months with the Dolphins.
Yeah, I heard there was like off-field stuff too.
Yeah, there was something like he didn't
like text his assistants or anything.
Yeah,
right?
he didn't. Communication was cut off between him and the assistants for like the last month and a half of the season. And then I don't know. He had a bad relationship with ownership. He also had a bad relationship with the fans with the whole Tua Deshaun Watson thing because he didn't handle it very well.
That's a fair point, yeah.
So, like, I remember a lot of Dolphins fans wanted that guy fucking out of there before the trade deadline. And then after the win streak, they were back to loving him again.
Oh, yeah, I definitely understand that. Whenever he started 1-7 after, like, playoff hopes, playoff expectations even.
Right.
Yeah, but then he
I don't
bounced
know.
back like in a crazy way.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think you got it. But all
So
right,
and
let's
then
move on from the that aspect of
racial
everything. Yeah, racial
part of it.
aspect. Let's talk about the money aspect, the financial aspect that Flores has brought upon the NFL, which is Flores is claiming that the NFL teams have been paying him, well, the Dolphins in particular, have been paying him $100,000 per loss when it was the hashtag tank for 2 a year. And now other coaches have come out and said the same thing, just like Hugh Jackson, the former Browns coach. So
Yeah.
this
Well,
is
and it's
kind of something that I'm not too surprised about, but it's still kind of mind blowing. What were you about to say? Go ahead.
well, he never said that he took it. He said that he was offered it. And
Mm-hmm.
apparently he said that when he said no, he had a disconnect with ownership because he wasn't seen as a guy that would play ball, basically.
Not seen it. That's so backwards. Like not seen as a guy that would play ball whenever he wants to play ball. Like,
Right. No,
no,
it's
that's
fucked.
weird.
So and then yeah, Hugh Jackson has come up in support of him, and he said that he was offered a sum of money for losing games during his time at Cleveland. Hugh Jackson's been his biggest supporter since this whole thing has gone down. Um, but no, that's crazy. And if this comes out to be true, this is really bad for the NFL, especially at a time where more people than ever are thinking that the NFL's rigged.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is it seems like we've been even talking about that for the past couple episodes. Like, is the NFL scripted? But this is an even bigger thing. And like, I'm not that surprised that it's a reality because I think we all know that tanking is legit. Like, teams tank. That it's just the fact of the matter is it happens. But did I think they were legitimately paying their coaches to lose games?
Yeah,
No, I thought they would kind of all be on the same page.
and the thing with tanking is a management decision, not a player or a coaching
Coach.
decision.
Yes, exactly. It should be up to like the people, the GM, and the people in the front office for that kind of stuff. And that brings up a little bit of a question is so if your team is in position where they're kind of on the fence of being like a bad team or a decent team, would you rather your team tank and get a better draft pick, or would you rather see them win as many games as they can, even if that means they're not going to make the playoffs, like a 8-9 season?
Oh, tank, 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
When the Cowboys lost Dak last year, I was like, dude, I hope we lose every single game from now on.
Yeah,
Get the
yeah.
best draft pick
It seems
possible.
like like real NFL fans, like people that really care about their team, which is ironic to say that they would want to see their team lose, but that's true. Like real fans would rather like plan for the future and just be like, all right, well, this year's a bust. Let's go ahead and get that guy that we need, and let's just move on from this.
Of course, but if you ask a Lions fan that, we'd be like, we've been taking for 50 years now.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
depends on which fan base you ask that question
Yeah.
towards, because it's just like I would murder a baby to get 8 wins next year. Have something to cheer for and be excited about, have some hope for the team. So it's hard. But I mean, look what tanking got you. I mean, you're a Bengals fan. Your
Yeah.
worst year, you got Joe Burrow.
Yeah, no, I was literally like, there was a trending hashtag. It was hashtag bungle for Burrow, just lose every game. And then, bro, thank God I think it was the Texans. The Texans won in week 17 because we won our week 17 game. We were 1-14, and then we won our last game of the season. And I was like, guys, we're fucking it up. Like, why are we doing this? You just have to lose one more game and we get Burrow. And we won. But thankfully, the Texans won too, so we still got the first pick. It was crazy how it worked out, but yeah, because there were people arguing between Tua and Burrow, and I'm like, this is a joke, dude. This is a joke. It'd be more of an argument with Herbert.
Could you imagine being that guy that wanted Tua over Burrow right now?
Oh my god, dude. There was plenty of Dolphins fans though that wanted that. Like they didn't even
They
consider
wanted
Burrow.
Well, that was the whole thing because the Dolphins were the worst team in the league that first half of the year. That was the tank for Tua's season. And then they started being good, and they still got Tua. Tua turned out to what he is, and
It's
definitely not
Tua
as
got
good
hurt, so that kind of helped their case.
Tua got hurt,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't like ownership paying coaches to lose purposely.
No,
And
not
it
at
doesn't
all.
help that Stephen Ross Dolphins owner is a heavy investor into the Action Network, which is a game, which is what we use for everything from gambling advice. But where gambling is legal, you can bet on the Action Network.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Is like, if you can, I was going to bring up the gambling aspect of everything, is because the NFL has always had such a stick up their ass, like worried about rigging the games because gambling is an option. They didn't want like a Pete Rose situation arising, even though that was bullshit because Pete Rose only bet on his own team. But anyway, they don't want that coming up. But this literally kind of fucks with the gambling aspect of things. Like if you're a head coach being paid $100,000 to lose a game, why not go put that $100,000 on the other team? Like,
Right.
Why not just turn it into more? Because like they're paying you already to do it. It's like almost like a guaranteed result if you're really going to do it. But this kind of just randomly pops into my head do you remember a few years ago whenever the Eagles, or it might have been last year, 2 years ago, the Eagles pulled Jalen Hurts for Nate Sudfeld just out of nowhere. Yeah, just out of nowhere.
To legitimately tank.
Yeah, so do you think they were getting paid for that?
I don't know if Doug Peterson was paid for it, but I remember there was like pretty much a gentleman's agreement between management and the coaching staff that they were going to lose that game so they could get the draft pick.
Yeah.
Which turned into Devontae Smith.
It worked out, so. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That is kind of concerning, I guess, because obviously we've talked about it being scripted and stuff, but this is kind of a whole other type of rigged where it's being rigged from the top down.
Yeah, it comes at a really bad timing for the NFL because more people than ever have been on the NFL rigged hype train.
Yeah, definitely.
And even I tried not to just because I love it so much. And, it's my favorite form of entertainment. I would hate for it to be set up, especially because, I put money into it with gambling. I don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not. But alrighty, though. Let's go ahead and move on now from the whole Flores scandal. I'm sure there will be some updates along the way. Probably even by Monday, some new stuff will come out. But that's going to be a long process for all that to get resolved. But moving on now, other news in the NFL. Washington Commanders. That is their new name now. The former Washington football team yesterday unveiled their new name, logo, and uniforms. They went with the Commanders, and they chose that over the Armada Red Wolves or sticking with the football team. Those were their other options. So, original thoughts. What are you thinking? Like, what's your first takeaway from this?
Bad.
Bad.
Very bad.
Bad.
There's so many. First of all, like, it's too long of a name. So they're going to be shortened down to the Commies. So the Commies are in our nation's capital.
And I've already heard that, yeah.
Red, like everyone's been clowning them for the Commies. And then when they start 1-7 next year, everyone's going to say they're the Tank Commanders. I wrote a blog about this. And then where they really fucked up for me was their new uniforms.
That was the biggest thing. Yeah, the uniforms is the biggest thing. That's all. Yeah, I'll do that right now. Because my first reaction to seeing the uniforms was like, oh my God, these look like Iowa State practice uniforms.
No, they
don't look like NFL uniforms.
They somehow, God damn it. They somehow beat the Jets in being the most XFL-like uniforms in the NFL. Nike has done a shit job in the NFL with making the uniforms.
Yeah, they kind of have fallen off recently. All right, I got them up right now here. I'm pulling them up.
They made the Buccaneers uniforms when in the Jameis Winston days, and then they were so bad they went back to their OGs. And then I guess like the Seahawks are really the only good ones. And the Chargers. The Chargers are clean as fuck.
The Chargers are always beautiful. But
in my opinion, all the Color Rush jerseys are dog shit.
I love the Color Rush jerseys. What?
Select few. Like the Broncos are good.
No. I think it was such a good idea to do that. They should start doing more like, editions. Like baseball does it all the time with like city edition jerseys and stuff. Basketball too. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Baseball did
has
that
been,
shit too. Yeah.
they've been implementing it recently. But yeah, you're right. NBA does it more so where they have like whole sets of jerseys where each team gets one like special edition.
Yeah.
Like the
But
Heat have had like 4 jerseys they've only used twice and then never again.
Look at these fucking jerseys. Look at those uniforms.
It's dumb. It's just there's no other word.
How do you fuck up that color scheme? That color scheme is
that's so true.
clean.
That is like, because the black looks terrible.
The black is dog shit. It looks like a rip-off Steelers jersey. It looks like something I'd see in a fucking movie.
Like what are these numbers too, dude?
Like that looks like a jersey that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson would play in The Game Changer.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, that is the name of the movie. I was trying to think of it.
Yep.
Dude, like what is this? I would rather just see yellow in the jersey. I don't like
they're doing too much with that. The Commanders looks bad. So their white uniforms was their best chance to look good, but then they fucked it up with this design that they had in the middle of the numbers, trying to be like the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, this looks like a incarnate word, like FCS jersey, you know? It doesn't look like NFL. It looks like JV high school football, if that.
So infuriating that they would do something like this. And what makes it even worse too is when the Redskins switched over to the football team. Legit, dude. Football team had some of the cleanest jerseys in the NFL with the numbers on the helmets.
Were nice. Yeah, the uniforms were nice.
Their all whites were clean, dude. Like they look good on the field. Like it was simple, it was good, it was clean. And so really the biggest question that keeps on popping up into my head is how do you fuck up so bad when you had 2 years to plan this out, when you had 2 months to do damage control during the football team era?
And like the uniforms, like the big part that everybody's gonna care about. You know what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna rebrand, that's where you start. Is like a clean look. And aside from the uniforms, what do you think about this logo? Because personally, I think they just ripped a page out of the European soccer book. You know, they're like, let's just try and look like Barcelona, but in circle form.
Yeah, it's bad. It's not.
It just doesn't look like an NFL logo to me. I would rather them just go with the W as their logo. Like that's it. Just that W. I will say I like the new W, how it has the little slits in it. I think that looks kind of cool.
I like the old W better. They're just trying to do too much. They're like, here, let's change up the W because we have to.
That is a good point. The only reason I like it is because now I can tell a difference between this W and Western Michigan's W because it fucking pisses me off that they use the same font, same logo, just different color. It's dumb.
Well, Western Michigan were the copycats on that one. So
yeah, they definitely took it after them.
But no, it's just all around bad. Like, how do you?
I want to know what the numbers for their jersey sales are going to be like, bro, because I bet they're going to be bad. But at the same time, though,
it really just depends on how successful they are.
Yeah, I was going to say, at the same time, it depends because, like, if I'm a Washington fan, you know, this is my new team for the next 50 years. Like, I'm going to buy a jersey. Like, why not? Like, I don't know. It's overall just so bad. So this brought up a question, though, for me, and that is, you know, if your team was rebranding, say the Cowboys were rebranding, what is the one thing you would change about their logo, uniform, anything? What would it be?
Their pants on their home jerseys on the white set.
Oh, really? The silver?
It's like a seafoam green.
You're right. Yeah, it's weird. Like seafoam.
Yeah, they need to fix that up. That would be the only thing. But other than that, no, it'd stay the same. Oh, and I guess for their color rush is to use white helmets. Do the white and navy star.
Like that would be cool. Yeah.
Which we might do because the helmet rule is going to change. Now NFL teams can start using more than one color on their helmets. So that would be sick.
Oh, Doug Peterson just got hired by the Jags.
Well, shit. I guess the Byron Leftwich did not happen.
Shit, I guess not.
I do think that's a good hire for the Jags, but maybe they should have went with Byron Leftwich, especially now after.
Yeah, the only 3 spots left now are the Dolphins, Saints, and Texans.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll go ahead and say mine real quick, then we can get because there's like a couple other little NFL news we can talk about. But if I had to change anything, I think the obvious answer for the Bengals would be to match their color rush and get that alternate white and black Bengals stripe helmet. And that's what everybody in the world wants to see the Bengals do. So that's what I would do. And then another thing is I would
I feel
start. Go ahead.
I feel like they're going to
I think they will
with
eventually
the
because it's been
new
such a
helmet
big
rule
demand.
change.
Yeah, it's been such a big demand. But the other thing I would do as well is implement their throwback Bengal logo and not like because right now obviously their main logo is the B with the tiger stripes in it,
Disgusting.
but their alternate logo is like the Bengal head, like the cat head.
Which
But
is sick.
they have a super I think it's sick too. But they have a throwback one from like the 30s where it's like a long stretched out Bengal like running. And I think
Oh
that
yeah,
looks sick. And I would love to see them bring it back as like a patch on the jersey or something. That would be
yeah.
pretty cool.
That should definitely be on the 50-yard line.
Oh, even on the field, that would be great, dude. That would be way better than the B on the field, I think. Yeah.
The B on the field is trash.
Yeah, it's kind of basic. Like, I don't know. I'd
And
rather
then
see the cat head on the field than the B.
something,
Yeah,
anything other than the B.
than a
But
B.
before
Yeah.
we move on, my last gash at the Commanders. Have you heard their new chant?
Oh God, no. But I've heard it's shit. I've heard everything about their marketing team is shit.
All right, I'm gonna give it to you real quick.
Oh God, let's hear it.
We are Commanders. Bum 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 bum.
Bro, I thought that was a joke. I've heard that. I thought that was literally just fans that made it up.
Nope,
That's legitimately their chant.
that's legit, bro.
Like the command, like not even the fans made that up. Like Washington's like front office
Nah.
came like put that out.
That's their thing.
That's
It's
disgusting.
it's the State Farm thing.
That's probably the worst thing. That's worse than the uniforms. That's worse than the logo. That's the worst thing I've heard all day. That's ridiculous. You're joking me, because I saw this super cringy video of this guy with fans who's like, "We are Commanders. Come on, guys, come on." And they were all like ba ba da ba ba like at different times. It was just so gross.
Yeah, but it turns that guy works for the team.
Oh, that's even better, bro. I thought it was a joke.
No.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I don't know how to react to that. That's just straight up bad because they're also using like their hashtag, their social media promo and whatnot is like the same hashtag that the San Antonio Commanders used for the AFL a couple years ago. It's like hashtag take command. Like it's so dude,
You know
it's
what?
just
Fuck it. Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's go Commanders.
I guess, dude. I mean, it could have been worse. I will say that, but I mean, the name could have been worse, but the uniforms and everything else is pretty much rock bottom. Yeah, it's pretty much rock bottom. Like,
how could it have been worse?
The uniforms? I'm saying the uniforms are like rock bottom, but I think the name could have been worse.
Oh, yeah. How could have the name been worse?
The name, other than Commanders? I don't know. They could do like the Washington Presidents, bro. The Washington officials. I don't know. That would be dumb. I think. I don't know.
There's so much history that you could have worked with our nation's capital, and then you went with the Commanders.
They should be the Washington Fathers, bro. The founding fathers. Then whenever they win, just be like, "We're your dad." Easy peasy.
Your dad. Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and hit just a couple little talking points in the NFL. So since last time we talked, we were all debating whether or not Tom Brady's retirement was legit. But Tom Brady came out and he said it himself. He confirmed his retirement. But one thing that's interesting about this is that he did not name or thank a single person from the Patriots organization. Do you think that should matter at all? Do you think that's even something that people should be talking about? Or is it just a coincidence?
Cry more.
Cry more, Brady?
No, Patriots fans, cry more.
Okay. I was about to say, what do you mean? Like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Because to me, it just seems like I don't think that it doesn't have anything to do with it. Like he's not doing it out of spite. He just wrote he just wrote his thank you thing. And he'll eventually get to the Patriots, obviously.
I'm pretty sure and then he released another video today and he had a bunch of Patriots stuff in there. And after Bill Belichick complimented him, he was like, Bill Belichick called him the greatest NFL player in NFL history. Yes. And then Tom Brady responded by, "This is a great compliment from the greatest NFL coach in NFL history." So
it's gonna come.
there's no
It's
way he's
coming.
just gonna. I mean, he might. There's no way he's gonna just disregard Pats
Yeah,
fans.
just ignore the team that made him. Like, no way.
Yeah, come on.
No matter how bad their falling out was, and it wasn't even that bad. Like, it could have been way worse. But
Well, Brady holds a grudge, but
that is true. Yeah, he gets pissed really easily. That's how it's
He's-
it's how he's been so successful.
he's a spiteful bitch.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. All right, another NFL news. Jim Harbaugh, head coach at Michigan, announces he'll be staying at Michigan despite his NFL interest. He even interviewed with the Vikings. The Vikings seem to be really, really keen on hiring him, but we're not because he decided to go back to Michigan. What do you think about this?
Yeah, no, it seemed like for a second there he was definitely going to the Vikings, and then
I was sold on
decided
him to
to
the
stay.
NFL. Yeah, I
I
really
thought he was
going.
definitely coming to the NFL. I thought he was going to go to Chicago there for a second, but he didn't.
That would have been a great hire for them, I think.
Yeah, but now it seems like apparently he told Michigan, you know, I'm here as long as you want me to be here. So I guess it might be, 5-10 years before we see Harbaugh in the NFL again.
Yeah, I was about to say after a playoff berth, I'm sure they want him there for a long, long time.
Mm.
All right, speaking of now, the Vikings, since they couldn't get Harbaugh, they decided to hire Kevin O'Connell, former Rams offensive coordinator, as head coach. Since we talked about head coach hires, we'll go ahead and rate this 1 out of 10. What do you give this one?
Kevin O'Connell?
Mhm.
Did they? Oh, wait, they hired him officially?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's 7. I don't know much about him. I mean, it's basically just Sean McVay's puppet.
That's what I was about to
So-
say. Is like I'll give it like a 7 because like I feel like it's a good hire. Maybe he's been in a good system under a good head coach. Maybe he's ready. But again, I also don't know much about him personally. So it seems like the Vikings really just needed something different. Like, and that was it. They didn't need like a home run game changer. They just needed something different. So who knows? This could be that guy.
They needed an injection of youth.
Yes. And I think this guy's in his 30s. Like he's like 36 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, alrighty. And then last but not least, I guess also Doug Peterson got hired by the Jags. Might as well rate that one. What do you think about that?
I'm a little shocked by that. I do think it's a good hire. I think Doug Peterson deserves to be back in the NFL. I mean, he won a Super Bowl. I think this is a good hire for Trevor Lawrence's development.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like for a second there, it was going to be Byron Leftwich, which is kind of crazy because like it was like pretty much a done deal, and then it wasn't. So honestly, at this point, like going back to the old Brian Flores thing, if Byron Leftwich doesn't get a job, and neither other of the top premier like black coordinators get a job, dude's got a solid ass argument.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like you can't deny that.
I mean, I'm really on the
way.
same page as you. I thought it was going to be Leftwich for the Jags. So Peterson, I just saw Schefter tweet that Peterson was the first candidate they interviewed as well, and they went with him. So interesting to see. But I agree, he does deserve to be back in the NFL. I am curious to see what he'll be able to do. Another hire that I think is an absolute home run, and the Giants are just killing it right now. The Giants just hired Mike Kafka as offensive coordinator. The former quarterback coach for Josh Allen at the Bills, spent the last couple of years with Patrick Mahomes as a QB coach in the Chiefs. At the Chiefs, I mean, what more of a track record could you ask for? This is going to be great for Daniel Jones because the Giants still seem to be riding that Daniel Jones train for at least one more season. So this could be like a last hurrah. They're really making a big push for Jones, and if not, whoever their next quarterback is going to be is set up great with Kafka and DeBall now together. That I feel like that's really, they've made the best hires out of anybody in the league.
Danny Dimes is alive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know we should talk, but it's like there's a crazy part of me that still wants to believe that he's just going to pop
There
off.
is. I too. I still have that corner minuscule part of my brain where I'm like, you know what? He might be able to be pretty good. But still don't think so. But it's just like, what is it about Daniel Jones that people just still think that he could turn out? even this
I
far.
don't know, bro. It's like he kind of has like a little bit of that like white boy swagger to him, Like I don't know what it is, how else to put it, but
Because he's athletic.
yeah, I guess he's not the typical white quarterback.
It's because he can run a little bit, and
Yeah.
I don't know. The main reason against him though is because it's been this long. You look at Joe Burrow, you look at Justin Herbert, you look at Kyler, any other of the young quarterbacks, and they've done so much more in the time that he's done. But fuck, give him one more chance.
Yeah, give him one more chance. I'm all aboard the Danny Dimes train for one more year. I remember, even though this was way before we started doing the podcast, but I remember like before Josh Allen started popping off, like his second year, people were like, okay, like maybe it's time to be done. And I was literally just like, no, Josh, dude, like this kid is legit. I drafted him in all of my fantasy leagues. And then the next year, he was the number one quarterback. And I was like, boom, easy. So maybe Daniel Jones, he could be the next Josh Allen. I'm just kidding. That's a bit of an exaggeration. It's like, can he? I don't know about that.
I don't think so.
Yeah. But alrighty though, we don't have any Taylor fade picked out for this week, considering there's no NFL games to bet on. But bet your ass next week on Thursday, we'll be all in for Super Bowl preview. We'll be giving whatever picks we can, all the prop bets, everything you can imagine.
Yeah, next week's gonna be a solid Super Bowl special. So
it's probably just gonna be us talking about the Super Bowl and our picks the entire time, but
just straight up prop bets.
Yeah, unless something crazy pops up, but that's really what you can expect for next week. So, and Monday though, we don't know what we're gonna do. I'm thinking we may talk about a little bit of NBA to catch up now that it's the All-Star break. Maybe have Colton on, come talk about the NBA a little. But alrighty though, we'll stay tuned for what we talk about on Monday. We're gonna be live again, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, like we are now. So appreciate everybody that listened to this kind of short. No, we hit an hour. This wasn't that short. We hit an hour. So appreciate everybody listening. If you're in Texas, stay safe, stay warm. Hopefully your house is not as it was last year in Snowmageddon. So appreciate you taking your time to listen, and we will see you guys on Monday. Any last comments, Elijah?
Yeah, Sam Hubbard said that on Pardon My Take that he was going to win. The Bengals wanted to win the Super Bowl for Harambe. They're going to bring us back full circle into pre-2016, make the world right. Bengals by 90, baby.
Dude, honestly, the Bengals winning the Super Bowl for Harambe is just going to end COVID. It's just going to bring the world back to normal.
The world's going to go back to normal. Everything's going to go right. I have so much more than $200 riding on this game. Please.
Did you place more?
No. I'm saying emotionally.
Oh, emotionally? Yeah. No, emotionally, yeah.
I
have way too much invested.
I did place $40 on the coin flip, though.
I'm going to put 20. Yeah, I'm scared to do more than 20. Do you take tails?
Tails never fails. Man.
Yeah, okay, exactly. Tails never. It's like, are you crazy? Yeah,
what do you take me for?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Some kind of joke?
All right, well, there's a preview to our Super Bowl prop bets. You already got one. Both Elijah and I are taking tails on the coin flip because fuck it, why not? But
I'm sure National Anthem over will make an appearance.
That is also definitely both a lock for both. I know I'm going to take it, and I know you're probably going to take it. So.
I might put $100. I might put $50 on it.
I might dude, because last time, bro, it literally leaked like the time
when it was a duo.
Yeah.
Well, because I knew when it was a duo, I was like, oh, it's over.
Yeah, there's no shot. We got to do more research, and we got to figure out, the specifics of everything.
Yeah. As soon as they release who's singing it,
then we'll know. Then we'll know.
Somebody with some pipes.
Oh yeah, that's what we need. Somebody with some real pipes.
I need Mary J. Blige. Okay.
I was literally just about to say that, bro. Like, if they just bring her from the halftime show, just be like, yo, come on, do this real quick. Go get ready, and then you'll be good to go. Like,
yeah.
I'd be totally fine with that. I'm so excited for that halftime show, though, too. Snoop, Eminem, everybody. It's going to be interesting to see how they do it, but it'll be sick. All right. I feel like we're just going on now, but I'll go ahead and stop us here. So, again, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back live on Monday, and then Thursday is going to be our Super Bowl special. So stay tuned for all that, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.